In the news this week, the government pledges not to criminalise conversations between parents and gender-confused children under a conversion therapy ban. The leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Davey, says a woman can have a penis. And an international goalkeeper calls for gambling ads to be kicked out of football. Hello. Equalities Minister Kemi Badenoch has pledged the government's conversion therapy ban will not stop parents, religious leaders and teachers from having exploratory or challenging conversations with young people about gender identity. In particular, she said it will not criminalise parents for questioning their child's gender confusion. The government is now expected to publish its draft bill in June. The Institute has warned it will challenge any ban which infringes Christian beliefs on prayer, pastoring or parenting. Deputy Director Kieran Kelly said it was vital that those who uphold the Bible's teaching on gender and sexual ethics are not subjected to criminal sanctions. The Liberal Democrat leader Sir Davey has said it's quite clear a woman can have a penis. He was responding to a question from LBC Breakfast Show presenter Nick Ferrari after a caller had asked Davey to define what is a woman.
I've made it really clear that if people, the vast majority of people will have the same gender as their biological sex, but a small number won't.
So a woman can have a penis?
Well, quite clearly.
In Scotland, former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has repeated her previous claims that women's rights are not endangered by allowing men to self-identify as female, instructing supporters, never, never, never let anyone tell you otherwise. She made the remarks as she received a pro-LGBT award for instigating the Scottish Government's sex swap bill. The bill has been blocked by Westminster for its impact on wider equalities legislation, a decision the Scottish Government says it will challenge in court. Only hours after the former First Minister aired her views, a 53-year-old Melrose man admitted to kidnapping and sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl while dressed as a woman. Andrew Miller, who has been using the name Amy George for 6 years, has been placed in a men's prison until sentencing. Sturgeon's successor Humza Yousaf was asked if Miller should continue to be treated as a man, but the First Minister declined to comment. Academics in Canada have argued that being poor is sufficient reason for people to be allowed to undergo assisted suicide. Bioethicist Professor Amy Mullen and Kayla Wiebe said assisted suicide should be available for people in what they called unjust social circumstances, believing that it was a lesser evil compared to allowing them to continue to live in difficult conditions. Mullen and Wiebe also dismiss offering palliative care for vulnerable people rather than euthanizing them as mere paternalism, overriding the decisions of competent people whose suffering has led them to choose to die. Canadian academic Wan Yi Zhu, a research fellow at the University of Oxford, branded the idea a moral stain on our country. And Canadian-born Professor Kevin Yule said the article highlights just how irrational the case for euthanasia has become. And finally, Northern Ireland international keeper and recovering gambling addict Trevor Carson has said ads are fueling addiction and the government should act to stop them. The goalkeeper, who now plays in the Scottish Premiership for St Mirren, has spoken openly about his addiction, describing it as a dark place that left him at rock bottom. Carson estimates that at one stage he threw away more than £30,000 during a 2-month period. He recently admitted that after almost 8 years of not gambling, he is only one bet away from starting again. Carson told Good Morning Ulster that the government should give football gambling ads the boot.
You may have seen that the Westminster government did publish this new proposals on dealing with gambling, but specifically that there's no new action in those proposals about advertising, which has really upset a lot of campaigners. Do you think the government should be doing more? Do you think that they should be tackling this issue of advertising?
Without doubt, yeah, absolutely. I think the prevention's a big thing, and for me, this is just aiding it. All these advertisings and listen, bookmakers aren't going to go out of business if the government stop advertising. Let's be honest, they're still going to be quite well off. So, for me, I think it's definitely they can do more. Yeah.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.